Yeah, good morning, guys. So let's start with the case study now. So have you seen this copy data tool? Hello.
Yes, Samir.
Yes, Samir.
Okay. So today we'll start with the case study in continuation to the yesterday's case study. Execution of the title is execution of copy activity based on a file count. Just a minute. Now let us start with the specifications. Just a minute. Okay, guys, so now okay, so now let's use it here. The source data store, Azure, mm, Azure, ADLS Gen 2. The next one is you have it here, containers. See, guys, I'm using containers. Input 1, input 2, input 3. Then you're using data store, Azure Blob Storage, containers. Here you have output 1, output 2, then you have output 3. Now, guys, here this is the data, you have it. Okay. So this is the data you have it, wherein wherein you have the source data store is the Azure Data Lake Gen 2, and the following are the input containers you have it: input 1, input 2, input 3, input 3. And the sync data store is the Azure Blob Storage, where you have the following, that is nothing but the containers: output 1, output 2, output 3. Okay. So, guys, let us say that this input 1, okay, I'm just writing it here. Let's say here, guys, everyone, here you have input 1, wherein the input 1 has some 2 files, where the input 2 has some 3 files. Then we have input 3 has 0 files. So guys, how many things have we have it? So these are the things we have it. That means we can say that okay guys, so now here you have a case study. So here you have container, where the first input container has 2 files, and the second input container has the 3 files, and the third input container has a 0 files. That means what? That means you carry out the copy activity based on the file count. Based on the file count. That means start copying the data to the sync system only if you have at least one file. Only if you have at least, what is that? One file. You must and should have at least one file. Guys, you must and should have at least one file to copy the data into the sync system. So now tell me, as you have the 2 files in the first container, will it be copied to the sync storage or not? Tell me. Hmm? Getting my point, everyone? Hello.
Yeah, only if the file is present in containers.
Yes, that means in the input container called input to, input one has 2 files. So at least we should have a single file to carry out the copy activity. That means what is the case study? Just check it out. Execution of copy activity. Execution of copy activity. Huh? Execution of copy activity based on a file count. That means based on the file count, carry out the copy activity. Hmm? That means go and check whether you have at least one file or not. If you have at least one file, huh? If at least one file, then carry out the copy activity. And now, then carry out the copy activity. If you don't have at least one file, don't carry out the copy activity. That is the logic you have it. So now tell me, the first copy will be done or not? The input one carries out the copy activity or not? Hmm?
Yes.
Yeah, it will carry out.
It will carry on.
Yeah, the 2 files will be copied here as it is. So we can say that the first 2 files, you have it here, will be carried out. The first 2 files will be carried out. The first 2 files will be carried out. That's it. So we can say that the first 2 files are carried out into the output. So the first 2 files will be carried out into the output here. That's it. Okay. So whereas, okay, then afterwards, you have the next one. What is it? You have it, the input to two. Tell me now, the input to two, having how many files?
Three.
3 files. So now as a, yeah, if you have input two has the 3 files, so it should copy the it should carry out the copy activity or not?
It
Yes.
will carry out.
Yes, it will carry out, and it will create one more container here that is called as a output. And within the output, okay, two. This is output one, let us say. Output one, output two, and output three. So here what it will do, it will paste the copy activity. 3 files. That's it. Now, now you have input three is the container. Tell me now, how many files do you have it right now?
0 files.
So it should carry out the copy activity or not? Yes. You need to have at least a single file to carry the copy activity. Getting my point? You should have at least one file in an input container to carry out the copy activity. So now in this case, we have to search. You have to search whether you have a single file or not. But now, actually, when you talk about the real-time implementation, you don't know. This is created by someone else. This is created by someone else. The input containers are created by someone else, and you'll be working directly on the outputs. But we can't know and we cannot know what is the what is the each containers having it. That means the number of files you have it, you don't know. So first of all, in this case, you have to find out how many files does each container has. So for that, how many files does the each container has, we have to find out first. So whenever you wanted to find out the first, it is how many containers you have in the, how many containers you have it. Okay, in the input, that is one, input two, input three. These are the three containers. In each container, how many files we have, we wanted to know. So for that, what we do here, we use a function. We use a function. That function is called as what, guys? We use a function. That function is called as what? Length function. We use a function called what's that? Length function. Length of, guys, input one. Length of input one. Tell me now, if you use the length of input one, huh? If you use the length of input one, what does it returns? Tell me now.
Two.
If you, yeah, exactly two. In the same way, if I apply here, length of input two. What will be the result? You will have it now.
3.
Exactly. In the same way, I'm using it. Length of input 3. Tell me what's the result it gives you.
0. There is no value.
Exactly. There is no file basically. So you can say 0. That's it. So now tell me, you find out the so do you want to carry out the copy activity or are not in the third case? Hmm?
Not required.
Not required.
Not required. So now guys, how do you make it? That is nothing but you have to design the pipeline in such a way. You have to design the pipeline in such a way that automatically the system should decide whether to carry out the copy activity or not. Okay. So for that, first of all, we are using the function called what? Length function. Then afterwards, we have to use one more function here. That function is called what? Equals function. We have to use what's that? Equals function. We have to use what's that? Equals function. So whereas equals or not equals, any function you can use it, guys. So I'm using the again the equal function here. Okay. So for that, now tell me, I'm using equals. Equals. Now tell me, if you are using the equals of input container, okay, equals of input container, I'm using it. You equal of input container, comma 0. So it will return true or false. Tell me now. Yes, guys. It means that it means that is it equivalent to 0? The length of, guys, the length of the input one container is equal to 0 or not?
No. No,
False.
sir.
So this is a false or true?
False condition. False.
So this is a false. That means if it is a false, carry out the copy activity. Am I right or not?
Yes.
In the same way, in the second condition, if I'm applying it, equals
So can we say like length of input greater than 1, then
Yes, here you can see, I can use what's that 0. Now see what happens. So equals of that is nothing but equals of input container equal to 0. Length of input to container is equivalent to 0 or not this time also? No, it is
No.
also false. That means false means carry out the copy activity. In the third situation, if I'm using it on the third situation, now see here, equals of length, comma, 0. Now, is it equivalent to 0 now?
Yes.
So now it is equivalent to 0. That means the condition has become true here.
True.
So if it is a true, then that means don't carry out the copy activity. Getting my point? This is the one where we can use it. Another way is that we can also use one more function. Guys, we can also use one more function here. That function is called as not equals. Not equals to. Now tell me, if I'm using not equals function, tell me now what is it returns? The first one returns true or false. If it is not equivalent to, not
True.
equivalent.
True.
Yes, true. True means what? Carry out the copy activity.
Carry out copy activity.
Yes. In the second situation, tell me now. It returns true or false?
False.
Yes, false. False or true?
true?
Now
False.
true. Now true now.
Not equal to 0 now.
Not equal to 0. Yes, it is not equal to 0.
Yeah.
True now. True now.
True.
Then in the third situation, again we have what's it? In the third situation, again we have it here. If I'm applying the same condition on the third situation. Now here I'm using input of input 3, it's input 2. Sorry, 2. Okay. This is input 1. Now guys, here it is equivalent to 0. Now tell me what is it? So it says here when you return the same. So here you have to use what's that? The length function will return the length. So what is the length of this? This length is 3 here. And here the length is 2. Sorry, the length is true. Now here the length is 3. Now see, length of input container 2 is equivalent to 0. No, it is not equivalent to 0. That means not equal na, so condition is true. In the third situation, this condition will become false. Am I right?
Yes.
In the third situation, it will become false. If it is a false, then don't carry out the copy activity. Guys, all of you, don't carry out the copy activity. That means carry out the copy activity based on the file count. So just read it here. What is it? You have it. The title of the case study. Now you will understand it. What is it? Execution of copy activity based on the file count. So first of all, find out the count here. And if it is the count is matching, if the count is matching, that is greater than, if the count is matching, okay, if the count is matching greater than 0, if the count is matching greater than 0, then that is nothing but if the count is matching, that means execution of copy activity based on a file count. So first of all, to find out the length of each container, I am using the length function. Whereas later on, the length after finding out the length function, the length function will returns the container of that is the contents of each container. So here you have a contents of each container as what? 2, 3, and 0 respectively. So if now again I'm trying the equal functions on that. That means if the length of input container is equivalent to 0, is it equivalent to 0? Is equivalent to 0? False. Carry out the copy activity. Second situation, false. Carry out the copy activity. Third situation, true. Don't carry out the copy activity. So in this way, we have to design the pipeline. In this way, we have to design the pipeline, guys. Okay. So these are the functions we have to use it. And based on these functions, we have to, carry out the copy activity. And in the same way, if I'm using not equals function, this is quite opposite to it. What's it? This is a not equals function, wherein what's it you have it? Equals, okay, length of input 1 is equivalent to, that is nothing but equivalent to 0. That means input 1, first of all, find out the length of the input 1. And now if the length of the input 1 container, if the length of the input 1 container is not equivalent to 0, is it not equivalent to 0? Yes, true, it is not equivalent to 0. If the condition is true, then carry out the copy activity. In the same way, it is not equivalent to 0, carry out the copy activity. The third situation, length of input 3 is not equivalent to 0. Then, yes, this time it is equivalent to 0, not equivalent to 0, no, false. Don't carry out the copy activity. So we can use either functions here, equals or the non-equals. Whether equals carry out the copy activity and where the non-equals doesn't carry out the copy activity. That means based on the situation. See, things will work same. Only thing is what? It is true and false. You have to understand it. That's it. Okay. Yes, guys, everyone is okay.
Yes.
So here I'm using the two different functions. What's it? We are using the two different functions here.
Now equal and not equal.
Yes, so I'm just writing it here. Equals function. Equals function. You can choose any one, guys. Don't try to. Not equals. In the same way, before the equals and non-equals, okay. So what's it? We have to use a function called length. Length will return what is that? Length of the container. Length function. Length function. It returns the length of each container. Length of each container. Where equals function on returning the length it decides the condition is true or false. In case of true, it carries out copy activity. In the same way, the not equals is the reverse of it. On returning the length of container, it decides the condition is true or false. Yeah, in case of false here, it carries out the copy activity. Clear now, everyone? So how many functions we are using it? First of all, based on the condition, you have to decide it. What are the basically what are the that is functions you have to use it on. Okay, what are the functions you have to use it? You have to decide that. Based on this, based on this, you have to perform the activity, and we have to decide what type of things we have to do it. That's it. So is it clear, everyone, now?
Yes, Amit.
Okay. So, okay, guys, so that's it. That's something but continue tomorrow on this, the practical part, because the practical will take 1.5 hour time. So tomorrow we'll start at the sharp 6:30. Okay. Today
Sir, please tell me any one time, sir.
No, 6:30 only. There will be no change in the timing, guys. So actually, I could not log in, but there is the timings is only 6:30 only. There is no other time. Okay. I was late bit today, so normally you will have 6:30 only. There is no change in that time. Okay. Thank you.
Hello,
Yeah, please.
sir. Can you please explain me about dataset parameter and pipeline parameter and one more?
Dataset parameter
And pipeline parameter.
Tomorrow after the class, you remind me. I will refresh you once. Okay.
Okay.
We'll start tomorrow at 6:30, and once this is completed, just tell me. I'll refresh you once. Okay. No problem.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay.